Imagine this. You step into a grand hall, maybe museum, maybe somewhere older, and your eye catches it. Down on the floor, this incredible carpet. Just breathtaking. The colors are still so vivid, even after centuries, you know? And every knot, every pattern, it feels like it's telling a story.
Yeah, definitely. It's more than just something you walk on. It's history woven together, artistry, culture.
Exactly. And that's what we're diving into today, a real masterpiece, or maybe masterpieces.
That's right. We're focusing on the Ardebil rug, or perhaps the Ardebil rugs, plural, named after this historic town in northwest Iran.
Ardebil, a place really famous for its Persian carpets. A long, long tradition.
A really long tradition.
Yeah.
And the town itself, it's shaped and been shaped by this incredible textile art, some of the best the world's ever seen, arguably.
Right. So for our deep dive today, we've got, well, quite a stack of sources. Historical texts, art analyses, even stuff about how people appreciate them now. Our mission, really, is to peel back the layers. Yeah. Look at the secrets, the art, the cultural meaning behind these Ardebil rugs.
Yeah.
And there's one iconic example we really want to get into.
Oh, yeah. And prepare yourself, because there's some surprising facts, some lively debates among historians that kind of challenge the old stories.
Not interesting.
And the journey these things have taken across centuries, continents. It's pretty dramatic.
Okay, sounds fascinating. Let's get into it then. Let's unpack how this city, Ardebil, and its craft became linked with some of the world's most amazing art.
Good place to start.
To really get these carpets, we need to understand where they came from, right? The history of Ardebil itself.
Yeah, definitely. Setting the stage.
So Ardebil, it's more than just a name on a label. It's a real place, northwest Iran, with a seriously deep history, especially in carpet weaving.
Absolutely. Steeped in history, thousands of years. And that weaving tradition, it's ancient, might be one of the oldest continuous ones anywhere. But Ardebil's not just about weaving. It's got this really unique spiritual side, too, tied to a Sufi saint, Safi al-Din Ardebili. He passed away back in 1334.
Safi al-Din Ardebili.
Okay. His influence was huge, not just on the region, but on Persian history overall.
A Sufi saint and carpet weaving. Maybe not an obvious connection for everyone.
Yeah.
How did he influence things? What's his legacy in Ardebil?
Well, Safi al-Din was this really revered Sufi leader. He founded the Safavid order of Sufism.
Right.
He trained followers in, Islamic mystic practices, very disciplined devotion, spiritual focus, community living. And his teachings, they actually laid the groundwork for what later became the Safavid dynasty. That a huge empire that unified Persia and, crucially for us, really elevated the arts.
Oh, okay. The dynasty connection.
Yeah. And his legacy isn't just in books. You can see it in Ardebil today. The Sheikh Safi al-Din Khanagah and Shrine Ensemble.
Shrine Ensemble.
Right. It's this incredible complex. It was a sanctuary for Sufi dervishes, a major pilgrimage site. And now it's a UNESCO World Heritage Site.
UNESCO. Wow. So that really shows Ardebil's importance goes way beyond just carpets. It's a cultural, spiritual center.
Exactly. You can almost feel the history there. Centuries of devotion, artistic creation. It's all kind of layered together.
So against that backdrop, that rich history, that spiritual significance, that's when we hit the golden age of Persian carpet making.
Precisely. The Safavid dynasty, roughly 16th and 17th centuries, that's undeniably the peak for Persian carpets, and Ardebil was right in the middle of it.
The heart of this artistic explosion.
Yeah, a real renaissance. You had this strong central court, passionate about art and beauty.
And one name keeps coming up in the sources. Shah Abbas I, the Safavid ruler. His role as a patron seems critical. What did that mean for Ardebil's carpets?
Oh, Shah Abbas was incredibly important. A really smart, dedicated patron, almost a visionary for the arts.
How so?
Well, his direct support, setting up royal workshops, it just caused this explosion in carpet production. It went from being, a respected local craft to this grand imperial art form. Under him, some of the most iconic, most sought-after rugs ever were made, including, as we'll get to, the Ardebil carpet itself.
Oh, okay.
But it wasn't just commissioning pieces. He fostered this whole artistic ecosystem. He funded royal ateliers, basically, top-tier workshops.
Right.
The best artists, weavers, calligraphers, all collaborating. He knew these carpets weren't just floor coverings. They were symbols.
Symbols of what?
Yeah.
Power, wealth.
All of that. Power, wealth, sophistication, even spiritual devotion. They were used as diplomatic gifts, put in grand mosques, palaces. They were statements.
So it wasn't weavers working alone then. The sources mentioned designs coming from these court ateliers. How did that actually work? Did it create a specific look?
That's a really key point. And yeah, it's fascinating how they organized it. For these big, prestigious commissions, the designs were supplied by the court ateliers.
Okay.
And get this, these weren't just carpet designers. They were the same master artists designing manuscript illuminations, tile patterns for buildings, metalwork, all sorts of things.
Well, really the same people.
Yeah, so you get this incredible integration. A motif from a royal book might end up on a carpet, then maybe on a tile wall.
That explains the consistency, that really sophisticated, unified style you see in high-end Safavid art.
Exactly. It created this uniform aesthetic for elite art. Everything worked together. A grand visual symphony, you could say?
A symphony in wool and silk.
Yeah.
Okay, let's zoom in on the rugs themselves then. Ardebil rugs, generally, what are the key design features? What should you look for?
Okay, well, one of the most famous, most highly regarded designs is the Haradi pattern.
Harani.
Instantly recognizable. It usually has this central diamond-shaped medallion. And then all around it, flowing through the field, you get these small, stylized fish motifs.
Fish motifs. Interesting.
Yeah, sometimes called mahi. It's seen as one of the most elegant, most desirable patterns out there. Really balanced, intricate.
What do the fish symbolize?
Yeah.
Or is it just decorative?
Often interpreted as symbols of good luck or prosperity. So yeah, adds a bit of subtle meaning behind the beauty.
Like a serene underwater garden almost. Beautiful. Are there other traditional Ardebil designs that connect to its specific history?
Yes, definitely. Another important one, especially on older traditional Ardebil rugs, is the Sheikh Safi design.
Ah, named after the saint.
Exactly. The pattern actually takes inspiration from the mosque and shrine complex of Sheikh Safi al-Din Ardebili himself.
Wow.
So, the founder of the Safavids, it's a direct visual link to the town's spiritual heart, its origins, woven right into the rug.
What kind of elements, like architectural bits?
Yeah, you might see things that echo the shrine's domes or the arches, maybe floral patterns from the tile work, all translated into the carpet design.
So those are the classic historical designs, deeply rooted in Ardebil's past. But what about newer Ardebil rugs? Do they stick to these or have they changed?
Ah, that's where it gets interesting and quite different. More recent Ardebil rugs, say from the last 100 years or so, they actually look very little like those antique masterpieces.
Really? How so?
They tend to feature these bold, geometric motifs, and it's pretty clear they're inspired by Caucasian designs from the Caucasus region nearby.
Oh, okay. A definite shift.
Yeah, a noticeable change in style probably reflects different influences, market demands over time, makes identifying them a bit more nuanced for experts,
Fascinating. So these more modern ones, with the Caucasian influence, what are their typical layouts? What dominates the pattern?
Well, you often see a strong central medallion, or sometimes several smaller medallions lined up, kind of like poles down the middle, pole medallions.
Okay.
Repeating octagonal shapes are also really common, gives them a very structured, rhythmic feel.
And the rest of the rug? The main field?
Usually completely covered, just packed with all sorts of Caucasian motifs.
Like what?
Oh, everything. Stylized rosettes, stars with many points, abstract animal figures, sometimes even people, and loads of geometric shapes, sharp angles, zigzags.
It's very dense, very busy.
It is. Creates this really rich, almost kaleidoscopic texture, quite different from the smoother, more flowing patterns of the classic Safavid era.
And the borders on these modern ones, are they just as elaborate?
Usually, yes. They're important for framing the whole thing, often quite elaborate. Typically, you'll have a main, wider band, flanked by narrower guard stripes on each side.
Okay.
And these guards have their own decorations, maybe smaller versions of things in the field, like rosettes or octagonal stars, other geometric bits. It creates this strong visual frame, pulls your eye in.
Let's talk color. When you see an Ardebil rug, what colors usually stand out?
Well, especially in the more modern ones, the background field is often ivory or cream.
Ah, a light background.
Yeah, it provides this bright base, really makes the motifs pop. And the motifs themselves, they use these really vivid dyes.
Like what?
Lots of deep reds, often from madder root, a traditional source. And these really distinctive pea greens or olive greens, they contrast beautifully with the warmer colors in the light field, really makes the patterns sing.
Are there any particular color combinations that scream Ardebil? Like a signature?
Yes, actually. For the local Ardebil pieces, you can often spot them by that specific combo. The ivory field paired with clear green or maybe lime ochre elements in the design.
Ivory, green, lime ochre.
Okay. Yeah, that specific, almost shimmering mix, it's often a telltale sign of Ardebil origin, a subtle clue for the experts.
Now let's get physical. The materials. What are they actually made of? What gives them their feel and toughness?
Okay, the main players are usually sheep's wool for the pile. That's the soft, visible surface you touch and see.
Right, the plush part.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And then cotton for the warp and weft. That's the hidden foundation, the structure underneath.
Wool and cotton. Is that a good combo?
It's considered one of the best, actually, for making quality carpets. Cotton gives you this really strong, stable base, keeps the rug from stretching or distorting.
Makes sense.
And the wool, often local wool, gives it that soft feel, incredible durability, and it takes dye beautifully, holds those vibrant colors. It's a perfect marriage for looks and longevity.
Do they ever sneak in anything fancier like silk?
Occasionally, yeah. You might find silk woven into the wool pile, but usually not the whole rug.
Just highlights.
Exactly. Used strategically.
Yeah.
Maybe to outline parts of a medallion or highlight delicate floral bits.
What does the silk do? Just add shine?
It adds a subtle sheen, yeah, but also creates this lovely interplay of light and texture. Makes those specific bits really stand out, shimmer a bit, adds that extra touch of luxury, of refinement.
And the actual weaving. How are they made? And what about knot density? I hear that's a big deal for quality.
Right. So traditionally, Ardebil rugs are hand knotted on a vertical loom, and they typically use a Turkish knot.
Turkish knot. Is that different from other knots?
It is, also called the Gjord's knot. It's a symmetrical knot, looping around 2 warp threads, creates a really dense, strong plush pile. Very durable.
And that density helps with the detailed patterns.
Absolutely. Holds the design with amazing clarity. Now, knot density itself, for general Ardebil rugs, it varies, usually somewhere between, say, 60 and 120 knots per square inch kpsi.
60 to 120 kpsi.
Yeah. Higher count means finer detail, usually more skill involved.
And does that density make them last longer? More hard-wearing.
Definitely. Good materials, that careful hand knotting with the Turkish knot, it means they're generally pretty tough.
Okay.
The dense pile can take a lot of foot traffic. They're often described as, boldly attractive and reasonably hard-wearing, built to last generations.
Are there typical sizes? Or do they come in all sorts?
You find various sizes, but the most common dimensions seem to be around 4'6" by 7 foot, or maybe a bit bigger, 5 foot by 7'6".
Practical sizes for homes.
Yeah, they fit well in many modern rooms. It makes them popular, accessible.
Okay, now, let's shift gears to the big one. The undisputed star. The Ardebil carpet.
Ah, yes.
The legend.
And what's immediately fascinating and kind of confusing is we're not talking about one carpet, but 2 famous ones, right? With this tangled history.
Exactly. And this is where it turns into a real art historical detective story. The name Ardebil carpet usually refers to 2 distinct, but originally we think identical Persian carpets. Identical twins, basically.
Pretty much. The larger, more famous one is in the Victoria and Albert Museum, the V&A in London.
The V&A. Got it.
But here's the twist. The London carpet you see today, it's not exactly as it was made. It was restored, reconstructed back in the 19th century.
Using parts from?
Using sections from both of the original carpets.
Wow. So the London one is a composite, a blend of the 2 twins.
Uh-huh.
Where's the other one now? The donor carpet.
Its sibling is now in the Los Angeles County Museum of Art, LACMA.
L.A.
It's smaller than the London one, about 23.5 feet by 13 feet. And importantly, it doesn't have its original borders anymore.
Because they were used for the London one.
Largely, yes. The LACMA carpet was basically pieced together from the leftover sections of both originals that were still in good enough shape but weren't needed for the London restoration.
Incredible. Any other pieces floating around?
Yeah, to make it even more complex, there are other fragments from this whole process scattered in various collections, public and private. A whole family of remnants telling this story.
That's amazing. Just the existence of 2 is remarkable. What about their age? Do we know exactly when they were made? That must be rare for old textiles.
It is rare, and we do have a date. It's one of the things that makes them so important. The London carpet has this little ornamental frame, a cartouche.
Right.
And inside, it clearly says AH946.
H946. What's that in our calendar?
That translates to 1539-40 AD.
1539-40.
Wow, and that date is widely thought to be the earliest definite date inscribed on any Persian carpet.
The earliest dated Persian carpet. Incredible.
Makes it a hugely important benchmark for dating other Safavid textiles, and it confirms it was woven during Shah Tahmasp's reign. Remember him, the great patron we mentioned, also a skilled artist himself.
Right, Shah Tahmasp. And there's more than just a date, isn't there? An inscription, poetry, and a name.
Yes, it's a truly beautiful, poignant detail. It adds so much context. The inscription on the London one is a couplet, 2 lines of poetry.
From who?
From a ghazal by the legendary Persian poet Hafiz Shirazi, one of the most beloved poets
ever.
And then after the poetry, there's a signature. The whole thing translates roughly as, "Except for thy threshold, there is no refuge for me in all the world. Except for this door, there is no resting place for my head. The work of a servant of the court, Masood of Kashan, year 946 Hijri."
Masood of Kashan. Wow. That gives a personal connection. Who was he? The weaver.
That's the million-dollar question, or maybe the multi-million-dollar question, given the carpet's value.
Right.
Masood of Kashan. His name is hugely significant. It suggests he was either the master designer, the artistic genius behind it, or maybe a high-ranking court official who managed the whole massive production.
So either the artist or the project manager, basically.
Pretty much. We don't know for sure, but his name being there is incredibly rare. It links this monumental artwork back to an individual, or at least the organized court system. It hints at how sophisticated the Safavid royal workshops really were.
It really grounds it. Now, the sheer scale and detail, it's hard to grasp. Let's talk craftsmanship. What's the foundation like? And the knot density, how does it compare to, say, a normal rug?
Okay, the foundation, especially on the London one, is silk, which is super fine, super luxurious for the warp and weft. The pile is wool.
Silk foundation, wool pile. Got it.
But the knot density, that's where it gets truly mind-blowing. We're talking 300 to 350 knots per square inch.
300? Wait, earlier you said typical Ardebils were 60 to 120?
Exactly. And a decent modern commercial rug might hit 80, maybe 160 if it's good quality.
So this is double, triple, even quadruple that density.
And more. It's an order of magnitude different.
Yeah.
This incredibly tight knotting is what allowed for that unbelievable level of detail. Like a painting, but woven.
Wow. And the linen carpet is huge, right? So that density over that size.
Yeah.
The total number of knots must be astronomical.
It is. The London one is about, 34 feet by 17.5 feet. Huge.
Enormous.
With that density, the estimate is around 26 million knots total.
26 million.
26 million individual knots. Hand-tied. Think about the labor. Multiple master weavers working for years. Thousands upon thousands of hours. It's almost impossible to comprehend.
That's just staggering. And you mentioned the LA carpet might even be denser.
Reportedly, yes. In the sections that remain, the knot count is said to be even higher. Just an incredible technical feat. Makes you really pause and appreciate the human skill and endurance involved.
All that detail must allow for amazing patterns. What about the central medallion? What does that look like?
Oh, the central medallion is the star, really. A masterpiece within the masterpiece. It's got 16 points radiating out.
16 points.
And it's just filled with these incredibly intricate floral geometric patterns, spirals, arabesques, palmettes, all interwoven, a kaleidoscope of perfect forms.
Rich colors, too.
Very rich, complex palette. And the fine knotting allows for subtle shading, delicate outlines. It gives the medallion this amazing depth and movement.
Now, there's this really interesting debate about that medallion, and specifically those 2 lamp motifs hanging from it, right? Something about a mosque connection and graphical perspective.
Yes, this is where the art historical deep dive gets really fun. Okay, so the design of the medallion itself, it looks remarkably like the inside of the dome of the Sheikh Lotfallah Mosque in Isfahan.
Another Safavid masterpiece.
Exactly, famous for its tile work. Now, hanging off this medallion design in the carpet are 2 lamp motifs, but here's the thing, they're different sizes.
Oh. How different?
Noticeably different. And one theory, a very compelling one, is that this is deliberate, that it's an incredibly sophisticated use of graphical perspective.
Perspective, like making things look distant.
Kind of. The idea is if you stand at the end of the carpet with the smaller lamp, both lamps appear to be the same size. It creates this illusion of depth, visual harmony from one specific viewpoint.
That would be incredibly advanced for 1530s Iran, way ahead of its time.
It would be extraordinary.
Yeah.
But there's a counter-argument.
Okay. What's the other side?
Well, the opposing view, which is also strong, argues there's just no solid proof that graphical perspective, like the kind developing in Renaissance Europe, was really understood or used intentionally in Persia back then.
So what are the lamps then?
Many historians think they're just realistic depictions of actual mosque lamps from that era, maybe even specific lamps from the Sheikh Safi shrine itself.
And the different sizes.
Could be symbolic. Or maybe just an artistic convention, not an optical trick. It's a great example of how history is still debated, even with something right in front of us.
Fascinating debate. Okay, beyond the medallion and the lamps, the borders, are they just as detailed?
Oh, absolutely. Just as impressive. They add so much to the overall grandeur. They're made up of these cartouches, ornamental frames, or panels.
Right.
Filled with more decoration and, importantly, calligraphy. Beautiful script.
So text as well as pattern.
Exactly. Adds another layer of meaning, visual richness. You get geometric shapes, floral patterns, elegant script, all playing together in the borders. Keeps your eye moving, finding new details. They're not just frames, they're integral to the whole statement.
So given all this, the incredible work, the inscription, the scale,
Yeah.
where was it actually made? And who for? The traditional story says it was for the Sheikh Safi shrine in Ardebil, right? That's the romantic version.
That is the traditional story, the one that's lingered, that they were made for and placed in the Sheikh Safi al-Din Kanaga and Shrine Ensemble right there in Ardebil. It certainly makes for a nice, neat origin story, ties them right to the city's spiritual heart.
What he said historians doubt that now. Why?
Yeah, recent scholarship raises some serious doubts for very practical reasons, actually.
Like what?
Well, first, based on their likely original size, before the restoration messed things up, they probably wouldn't have even fit properly in the shrine spaces, at least not in a way you could see them properly. Potentially. But more decisively, there's a detailed inventory of the shrine from 1795. Lists all the important stuff.
And the carpets aren't on it?
Nope, not mentioned at all. And for something so massive, so valuable, that silence in the historical record is pretty loud. A big red flag for historians.
Okay, so if not the Ardebil shrine, where might they have been intended for? Any other theories?
Well, some suggest that given their size, they would have fit nicely in a bigger space, perhaps in the Imam Reza shrine at Mashhad.
Mashhad, where's that?
Another hugely important religious site in Safavid, Persia. Big pilgrimage center.
Yeah.
Had vast halls that could have accommodated carpets this grand. It's a plausible alternative.
And where were they actually woven? Was it Ardebil? Or somewhere else, especially with Masud of Kashan signed on it?
Yeah, that signature is a big clue. Current thinking, based on the style, the quality, the court connections, it leans heavily towards them being woven in Kashan.
Kashan, not Ardebil.
Probably Kashan. It was a major center for Safavid court workshops, famous for its skilled weavers, its sophisticated output. What's really key is that these two carpets, they're seen as peak Safavid imperial weaving, influenced directly by court art, manuscript painting, those ateliers we talked about.
Right.
They're stylistically quite different from the later, more geometric Ardebil rugs that became typical of the town itself.
So they have the Ardebil name because of the Shrine Association, but they were likely made in Kashan as elite court commissions.
That seems to be the most likely scenario based on the evidence. Really highlights the difference between a general regional style and these specific monumental imperial projects.
That makes total sense. Okay, let's follow their journey after they were made. They eventually got really worn out, you said. What happened in the 19th century when they resurfaced?
Right. So fast forward a few centuries. By 1890, they're heavily worn, probably from use in a mosque or shrine somewhere. They get sold to a British carpet dealer, Edward Stebbing. And Stebbing sees their incredible value, historically, artistically, so he decides to restore one.
The London one.
By using parts from the other one, especially the borders, damaged areas. It was, well, a common practice back then, but definitely controversial by today's standards.
Sacrificing one to make the other complete.
Pretty much. Creating one saleable, impressive whole.
And then the V&A bought the restored one. That must have been a big deal.
Huge deal. March 1893, they paid £2,000, which was an absolutely vast sum of money back then.
£2,000.
Shows how much it was valued even in its reconstructed state, and it reflects that growing interest in Oriental art in Europe.
And William Morris was involved, the famous designer.
He was, and his role was pivotal. He was an art referee for the V&A, like an expert advisor.
Right.
He passionately argued for buying it, persuaded the museum, helped raise the money through public subscription. Morris deeply admired traditional crafts textiles.
And he saw its importance.
Absolutely. He famously wrote, "It has no counterpart," basically saying it was utterly unique, unparalleled. His endorsement was key.
So London gets its restored masterpiece. But then word starts getting out about the other one, the secret second carpet.
Exactly. It wasn't immediate, more like whispers in the art world. Ziegler and Company, who first bought the carpets from the guy in Persia, managed the restoration, supposedly using Tabriz or Turkish weavers.
Skilled workers.
Highly skilled. But as experts looked closer at the London carpet over time, they started noticing things. Inconsistencies. Suspicions grew.
That it wasn't all original.
Right. And gradually the story emerged. There was a second carpet, the one sacrificed for the restoration. This caused a huge stir among collectors and historians.
And this restoration.
Yeah.
How good was it by modern standards? Was it sensitive conservation?
Not really. More like 19th century commercial optimization. Historians now say the London one was thoroughly over-restored.
Out.
Sections were cut, rearranged. The integrity of both originals was basically compromised to create one perfect piece for the market.
And the second one, the LA one.
Also visibly altered. Its original borders were completely replaced with just a narrow woven line.
So driven by market value.
Pretty much. There's a quote from the time that sums it up. "The highest market value was for complete carpets. The London carpet was a remarkable work of art, but it had been compromised to suit the market values of 19th century art connoisseurship."
Brutally honest. Completeness trumped originality.
That was the reality then.
So the second carpet, the LA one, made up of leftover pieces.
Yeah.
It went on its own journey after that.
It absolutely did. The smaller, borderless carpet, it was eventually sold to Clarence Mackay, the American businessman and collector.
Okay.
And from there, it passed through several major collections. Mackay, Yerkes, de la Mer. Still highly desirable, even in its altered state.
When did people finally get to see it properly?
It was finally shown publicly in 1931 at a big exhibition in London that really brought the whole two carpets story out into the open.
And that's when J. Paul Getty enters the picture, the famous collector.
Exactly. Getty saw it at that 1931 show, instantly captivated, bought it a few years later from the big dealer, Lord Duveen, paid around $70,000.
$70,000. Still a lot of money.
Oh, yeah. And apparently King Farouk of Egypt offered Getty $250,000 for it later, wanted it as a wedding gift for his sister and the Shah of Iran.
$250,000. Getty turned it down.
He did. Shows how much he valued it and its immense desirability.
So where did Getty's carpet, the LA one, end up?
Well, Getty, being a major philanthropist, eventually donated it to what's now LACMA, the Los Angeles County Museum of Art.
Found its permanent home.
Yes. And it had its own careful cleaning and restoration work done in 2003 over in the UK, actually, at the Royal Collections Conservation Studios, making sure it's preserved for the future.
Incredible journeys for both. Originally twins, then separated, altered, traveling the globe. How are they displayed now? Especially the London one, I heard. It's quite special.
They're treated with the respect they deserve, absolutely. The London one, yeah, for decades it hung on a wall at the V&A.
Like a tapestry.
Right. But since 2006, they've displayed it flat in the specially built, climate-controlled glass pavilion right in the middle of the Islamic Art Gallery.
Flat. Why flat?
Much better for preserving such an old, heavy textile. Less strain. And the lighting. It's kept really, really low.
To prevent fading.
Exactly. Light damage is irreversible, but then for a brief moment each hour, they turn the lights up slightly.
Oh, cool.
So visitors get this fleeting glimpse of its true colors and detail without causing harm. It's a really thoughtful approach, blending conservation with visitor experience.
That's fantastic. And its legacy beyond the museums. Has the Ardebil design been influential?
Hugely influential. That original design just set a new standard for complexity, for sophistication in carpets.
So people copied it.
Oh, endlessly. It's been the subject of countless copies, reinterpretations, everything from small rugs to full-scale carpets and grand buildings.
Any famous examples?
Well, there's apparently an Ardebil copy at 10 Downing Street, the British Prime Minister's residence.
Wow.
And, more chillingly, reports say Adolf Hitler had one in his office in Berlin.
Hitler had an Ardebil copy. That's quite something. Dark irony.
Indeed. Quite a range of admirers, you could say.
And I guess commercial copies are everywhere now, too.
Oh, yeah. Totally permeated the market. You can buy Ardebil style rugs today anywhere from maybe $200 for a basic machine-made one up to $45,000 or even more for a really high-quality, hand-knotted reproduction trying to capture the original's magic.
Shows how iconic it is. Still inspiring design centuries later.
Absolutely. Its fame endures.
Okay, so we've traced this incredible story. From Ardebil's ancient roots, the Safavid golden age, the details of the rugs, the drama of the Ardebil carpet, right up to its modern legacy. What does it all mean now? What's the value of Ardebil rugs today?
That's a great question. So Ardebil rugs, especially the newer geometric ones we talked about, traditionally they weren't seen as top-tier investments compared to, say, super rare antique Persian pieces.
Right, more decorative value?
Historically, yes, but that's changing. Their resale value is actually becoming more secure, even increasing over the long term.
Why is that?
It's largely down to scarcity. There's a growing shortage of authentic, good quality Persian village and nomadic carpets in general.
Ah, supply and demand.
Exactly. Making genuine, traditional hand-knotted rugs is declining for various reasons in Iran and elsewhere. They're becoming finite resources.
So what was maybe just a beautiful thing for your home is now potentially a tangible asset too. Even the more modern Ardebils.
Precisely. As the supply shrinks, the intrinsic value goes up. Value as art, as cultural heritage, as durable furnishings. So yes, Ardebils, especially older, well-made ones, are increasingly seen as potentially good buys. You get the beauty and possible appreciation, the market's recognizing that scarcity, and the enduring appeal of real craftsmanship.
That's really interesting, a shift in perception. Which brings us to the people who keep this whole world going today. The experts, the dealers, the conservators, their role seems crucial. Can you give an example?
Absolutely. Think of a place like Babak's Oriental Carpets up in Victoria, BC, Canada. They opened back in '94. And their whole approach isn't just selling. It's about showcasing unique hand-knotted carpets and, crucially, sharing the deep knowledge behind them.
So more like curators than just retailers. How do they share that knowledge?
Well, they really stress having knowledgeable staff. Take the founder, Dr. Hushang Rizwani, decades of experience, built a reputation in Austria first.
Right.
Apparently, he could tell a rugs region just by feeling the wool, or spot subtle dye variations that date it. That kind of deep, almost intuitive knowledge. It's invaluable, passed down.
Wow, that's expertise. And his son runs it now.
Yes. Babak Rizwani, the current owner in Victoria, grew up in the business, literally.
Soaked it all in.
Exactly. Huge hands-on knowledge, especially Persian carpets. And he's really dedicated to sharing that, talking to people about the history, the knotting techniques, investment value, quality.
So he can explain, like, the difference between knots or how wool quality affects wear.
Yeah, all of it. He's passionate about helping people understand what they're looking at, what makes a piece special.
For places like Babak's. They're like stewards of the tradition, really, keeping it alive, helping preserve these pieces.
Totally. They do more than just sell. They offer services like expert repair, cleaning, appraisals for insurance or collectors, trade-ins, detailed info sheets.
The whole life cycle.
Exactly. They're a bridge between the ancient craft and today's world, making sure these amazing woven stories continue to be appreciated, cared for, passed down.
What a journey we've taken. From Ardebil's history, the Sufi roots, the Safavid peak, looking at the designs, the colors, the materials, then diving deep into the Ardebil carpet itself, the two carpets, the date, the inscription, the lamps debate, the restoration drama, the journey to London and L.A.
It really underscores that blend, doesn't it? History, art, incredible human skill, those fascinating scholarly debates, all tangled together in the threads.
They're not just objects, they're like woven narratives, stories of craft, power, culture, beauty, still captivating us centuries later.
Absolutely. Enduring beauty.
You know, when you look closely at a carpet like the Ardebil, you really are seeing more than just threads and dyes. You're seeing history unfolding, empires rising and falling, scholarly arguments, the touch of skilled hands across time. It makes you think, doesn't it? In our world of fast fashion and disposable stuff, what other seemingly everyday objects around us might hold these incredibly deep, untold stories just waiting for someone to take a closer look?
That's a great final thought. We really encourage you, listening, to maybe look a bit closer at the art, the history, the craft that's all around you. You might just uncover your own fascinating deep dive.